Hey there YouTube, how's it going? Bruised here again. This time around I'm rocking my Absolution Scion. This character is also a lot of fun that I just kind of threw together, mostly in the heat of the moment of having this kind of Kulamac. And then also the realization that Doriani's prototype is actually extremely cheap this league. Like, this thing is actually very, very cheap to grab and to kind of just get like a decent one. So that's exactly what I did. That was sort of what spurred this whole like, hey, let's do a Scion Absolution thing. I haven't done Absolution in a while. Cane of Kulamac is a lot of fun. You can see I have a decent one here. The only thing that would be better is if that increased cast speed with chance to gain Arcane Surge when I kill an enemy was minion attack and cast speed instead, which is entirely possible to get. I actually did hit that when I was unveiling this thing, but I just thought about doing something self-cast instead of minion stuff. So then I felt like a dumb idiot when I saw that the third one was minions have increased damage as well. Feels bad, but it is what it is. Absolution itself, still a lot of fun. As per usual, POB will be down in the description of this video if you want to take a look. I'm only level 92 right now, and I think that this build could actually be a lot larger than what it actually is right now. I think that there's way more potential and way more places you could go with this build. As you can see as well, I only have minus 160 lightning resist and go down to minus 200, which then is even more damage if you're able to. Let's take a look at some of my other items. This helmet here really isn't anything all that spectacular either. The only really important thing here is the +2 to all minion skill gems, which is obviously very, very strong. The fire res and the life on it are also really nice. Nothing else really does anything, but it's a decent helmet. It's solid for what it does. It does what it needs to, basically. Doriani's prototype, obviously, the chest piece. If you can instead go ahead and double corrupt and not poof it, hence the name of my character, poof my Doriani's for this. I poofed 2 Doriani and didn't hit anything, so I just decided, screw it, whatever. I'm just gonna make this. I'm just gonna use this third one that I have now. Just call it a day. Otherwise, per usual, you're going to also be using some Ghastly Eye Jewels in these slots here, along with a Darkness Enthroned. At least I would, personally, because this just adds a lot of value. You can add in some very good things into your belt slot. The Darkness Enthroned with 2 Ghastly Eyes for minion builds is really, really strong. This is probably the weakest item that I want to say that I have equipped, truthfully. This really doesn't do very much. It has life, it has attributes. That's it. And then 50% of lightning damage taken is cold, which is actually very key. And I would say you should probably get one that either is lightning damage taken from hits as cold or as fire damage, because you will take a lot of lightning damage, regardless of the fact that Doriani sort of negates a good portion of it. You do also want to try to go armor base as much as possible, again, to just negate the lightning damage that you're taking. I guess I will also say that enemies that are like the mana siphoners are brutal with this build, because if you're standing in that ring, if you even like touch that ring, you watch your health just absolutely melt away. Also, this the anoint that's on this thing is literally nothing. It's +30 int, which doesn't matter whatsoever. I didn't feel like committing a actual anoint to this character. If I was going to, I would probably anoint Prismatic Skin. Probably just for some more tankiness to get 80%. I would have 80% total res on everything, and I mean, there are some other good options too. Crystal Skin even could probably be fine if you want to try to go Ailment Avoidance. I'm sure that there's some other things on this tree that are also very worth anointing. Again, I just wasn't willing to commit anymore to this talisman, really, and I've been trying to kind of make talismans on the side just to see if it hits something nice. You can get Jorgen into research at level 2, and that's what will give you these talismans, or at least we'll give you a tier 2 talisman which has a chance of giving you this. So let's talk about then real quick how to get to minus 160 as a total. So basically you just don't get any lightning resistance anywhere, and so that means you're left at minus 60 just from the campaign. If you put in Melding of the Flesh here, you try to get a perfect one for -4 to all max res and minus 80 to all resistance, then that'll put you at minus 140, and then you just put in a Thread of Hope with also minus 20. So I guess I'll make a couple notes here really quick and just say some things that I think could be improved in this build overall, outside of the talisman. The talisman could be better by a mile. I also don't think that Cane of Kulamak is the best way to make this at all. There are so many better ways to make it. I think literally a Convoking Wand and the Fossilized Spirit Shield, or just any Spirit Shield, is probably way better, because you can get +1 to +2 minion skill gems by hitting +1 to minion skill gems, +1 to all spell skill gems on the wand. And then the damage roll that you can hit at tier 1 is also this 100 to like 109% minion damage. So that already makes up for this staff, quite honestly. And if you don't get a perfect one like that, then you just split it between the shield and the wand, and I think you're in a much better spot. I just wanted to use Cane of Kulamak because it's a fun item and I haven't used one in a while. So you could probably split this into a wand and a shield and you'll be in a much better spot. The other thing as well is you'll want to get more life than what I have. As you can see, I have 3,800 life. You'll probably want more, or you'll want to get some block somewhere or something. This is very much so a squishy build, and I just kind of, if I was going to level up some more, I was going to take some more life nodes. Maybe I take quick recovery. Maybe I just take these two 6% life nodes here. Maybe I take some more from the Scion life wheel over here. You know, anything like that. And the third thing I can think, if you went with Scion, that would really make this build a lot stronger. Oh, and I have one other one after that as well. I just thought about this. Third thing as well is, instead of going, let's take a look at it. Instead of going up here and taking Guardian and then starting at Path of the Templar, is what you should instead do, if you can, is instead take Path of the Witch, unallocate Guardian, and then come down to here and take Pathfinder, because that lets your flasks be up essentially all the time and makes your flask game a lot stronger, and you'll be in a really, really good spot. You can then use roomies all the time, pretty much. You can use your diamond flask all the time for that good crit. I just have an amethyst here just for some chaos res help. Anything like that. But I would personally, if I was going to redo this, get rid of this Guardian node, come over here and take Pathfinder instead. And then what I would do is, I right now have the Forbidden Flesh and Flame for Inquisitor. So I would instead switch out these Inquisitor Forbidden Fleshes and Flames for Guardian, which I think was around 5.5 divines. I think somewhere around there. And the reason why I originally committed to Inquisitor anyway is just because it's more damage and it was really cheap. I think it was literally a divine or maybe 2 divines at the time when I was buying them. So that's another good way you can make this this build even better if you wanted to. Also, if you went with the wand and shield route, then you'd probably take Arcane Guarding as well instead of Serpent Stance. The other thing is that Eldritch Battery. You could probably, if you really wanted to as well, and again, this is probably assuming you go the wand and shield route, you probably could switch this out for Devouring Diadem instead. And that saves you a bunch of points. 1, 2, 3, 4. It saves you 5, 6 points. And then you could put those points anywhere else that you wanted to. Maybe into a better large cluster. This cluster isn't really anything. It was just as much resources as I was willing to throw at it. So you could probably get a new cluster. Or if you wanted to, another way you could really beef this build up and save yourself the 6 points as well would be if you got the... oh man. The thing that Lydia drops from in Sanctum League. The very last boss, she drops a thing with the special unique runs. Oh man, do I have one? I do. Invocation. There we go. You get the Invocation of Eldritch Battery if possible, which I think if you buy it on Trade League is like 6 divines or something. Or if you get lucky and you drop one, then you could just have Eldritch Battery and just get rid of all these points and do whatever you want. I also am not sure if this Thread of Hope spot is the best. Maybe they're better. Maybe there aren't. I don't know. But either way, that is just the character as it is right now. I'm stopping this character at level 92. This is as far as I'm going to get with it. These Abyss Eye Jewels also could use to be something better. These aren't anything spectacular. But this is probably as far as I'm taking this character. What I wanted to do, just a quick showcase, just to show off the character, and then we're just going to go and we're just going to kill a quick Shaper, because why not? I just wanted to show off some damage, show and do a little bit of something else before I kind of move on to my next character, which my next character is another Deadeye. And I'm thinking it's gonna be with the Nimbus ring, which is the ring that shoots projectiles off in random. It shoots projectiles in a random direction, and gives you more projectile damage, and your projectiles return to you at the end of flight as well. So I'm doing a Deadeye with Lancing Steel and Ice Spear right now, and we're gonna see how that goes, because it sounded like a lot of fun. I saw like a video that someone had posted from, I think, 3.16. Oh my god, this boss. from like 3.16 with a build very similar to that, but now we have Nimbus and we have other tech, and that ring is just so much fun. So I'm gonna try out a build with that. I might do multiple builds with Nimbus, truthfully, because it was really expensive to buy. So we'll see. But for now, this build was what I was sort of ending with, and this character was a lot of fun. And also the cool thing about it is that I think the damage where I stop is at about 4.5 million. I think so. I'll have to check the POB as I post it. But it is at about 4.5 million, and it really doesn't go down when you fight the Pinnacles, or when it does. The only time it goes down is if you're fighting Ubers, because they have the damage reduction. But I think with those changes that I was talking about, you probably easily can just nuke those bosses as well with no problem whatsoever. And the there we go. And because that's the fun part, is that you come in here, and these, also I'm going to turn up the volume a little bit. These bosses just do not have, like, the increased resistances and whatever that these guys have just doesn't matter with this build, because Doriani's just completely negates it. I feel like he's really quiet. Did I not save the setting? It's melee. And it's also possible, I'm just dumb when it comes to this battle a lot of the times. It's entirely possible I die here. Portal? Yep. Didn't detonate that. Alright, good. It's entirely possible I die here because I'm a Pepega when it comes to Shaper fight a lot of the time. Also, if you have other ways to regain energy shield, I'm just using both the Abyss Jewel and I have energy shield leeches, or elemental damage leeches energy shield over there in the elemental mastery. If you have other ways to either leech or just regain it a lot faster, then you also by no means need to have that point there. That is just for my own benefit, because I did not have enough speed going. Also, I'll show off what I forgot to show what links I'm using. I just realized. So I will do that as well once we get out of Kill Shaper. And we'll see if he drops anything cool, which I don't necessarily know that he can. Well, actually, no, you could drop what? Starforge? I think you could drop Starforge, which would be pretty cool, but no, we all know what's dropping. It's either going to be the boots or the gloves. That's what we get. We get boots, or we get some glove action. Yeah, like, look at that damage. That damage is just so crispy. Obstacles destroyed. The other thing as well that's kind of annoying is that you have to, because of the nature of the build, you have to, this is probably where I die, by the way. Oop. Nope, we're good. Because of the nature of the build, at being a staff, you have to self-cast Desecrate and Spirit Offering. So you have to self-cast both of them, which is a bit of a bummer because it kind of takes time out. You can see I have to Desecrate and then cast Spirit Offering. It is a very good damage increase, but again, if you had a good wand, then instead you'd probably just trigger, do the trigger craft on socketed spell. Oh my goodness! And just do it that way. And I think you'd be in a, I think you'd again be in a lot stronger of a place. But this was just for me. This was a me thing because I wanted to do some Kana Kulamak action. I don't even remember the last build I did with a Kana Kulamak. It's been that long. Okay, weird. Oop. And it was interesting to like gear around. I think this was my first Doriani's build, maybe my second ever. So it's been very fun and like interesting to actually kind of gear around Doriani's, and you have to look at items in a sort of different way where it's like, this has all res on it. I no longer want this thing. Oh, other ways you can hit -200 as well, if you really want to hit the full -200, is you could get a Venter's Gamble, actually. That actually does have minus lightning res on it, so you could use that. I think there are some other ways that I'm not actively thinking of, but that is one of the easiest ways I can think of. Yes. Phase into the abyss. The damage itself as well of Absolution has a bit of a ramp to it because you have to wait for your Absolution Sentinels to be summoned. But usually it happens really quick and you can see the 3 lads are over there just blasting away. Ooh, I almost got got by that. Alright. And hey, what do you know? The gloves dropped. It's like I called it. Irrelevant. That's actually fine though, either way, because I still wanted to set up for another Uber Elder. Which I will do at some point. I think I'm 1 fragment away. Cool. Alright. So yeah, as you can see though, damage is really solid and it could be even higher. This build can be very thick, very big, very huge, very enormous, very thick. But you know, I don't have it like that. So anyway, you get a 2120 Absolution very cheaply. Just buy it from somebody or double corrupt one yourself. See if you hit a 2123 or something. But it's Absolution, Awaken minion damage. Awaken minion damage is very nice because it gives you +1 the level of supported minion skill gems. So that is a very good one. Anomalous Spell Echo is pretty expensive, but it is a very good version of Spell Echo. If you got Awakened Spell Echo, it's even bigger as well because then your secondary casts deal double damage, I believe. So Spell Echo, very important, very big. Empower support, just for more levels onto Absolution, so it's level 29, which is, again, very strong, very nice. We have increased critical damage support because I'm sort of stacking crit, and then physical to lightning because especially with Dorianis, you need to convert all of the damage to lightning damage. And also just with Absolution in general, you want everything to be lightning damage, so you just do a full convert. Ring-wise, I think this ring, if this was dexterity instead of strength, this would be a much better ring. This ring is actually cracked. You just spam, if you just spam like harvest caster or speed crafts. Actually, you want to do caster. Caster is cheaper. You just do caster crafts or attack crafts maybe. You could probably spam one of these two. And you'll eventually hit the attack and cast speed roll, which is really good. And then I got really lucky and hit the T1 increased damage and max life and some fire res with an open prefix. So that ring is actually really, really good. Again, this could use to be better. These gloves are probably fine. They just have a lot of resistances on them and then craft on some life. And then the lightning exposure is good for more damage, and minions deal more damage equals more damage. And then Goliath Greaves, depending on what you're scaling, whether you want to scale cold res or fire res from Melding of the Flesh, you would actually kind of interchange these. Because I think cold res on gloves, I think cold res is on gloves. So depending on what you do, you'd end up interchanging one of these. But ideally this would also be like +2 or +3, but you have to get the bigger versions of these to hit, which I was unable to do. But yeah, I think that's pretty much this character. Oh yeah, and then just for quick auras that I'm using, so I have Purity of Fire, level 21, with some for the +4 max fire res, and then Determination, Zealotry, and Lighten. And this is Flame Dash and Convocation here are literally not doing anything. I just didn't have sockets to put them anywhere else. I also have Defiance Banner, which could also slot in here, would free up a little bit of mana, but that didn't really matter. Yeah, and then we just have some Divergent Spirit Offering, Raise Zombies, Specters, Meat Shield, Animate Guardian. Animate Guardian just has the usual stuff, Dying Breath, Leer Cast, Ambush Charge, etc. Raise Specters. These are the 2 Harvest Specters, like the Primal Crush Claws, and then it's one of the Act 5 Guardian guys that puts out a Proxy Bubble, which is actually just a nice thing to have. Kind of keeps you safe every now and again. But these could be interchanged. I think you could put in like the Beyond mobs, Beyond Specters, because they apply an additional damage taken debuff. Oh, and my Sanctified Relic is just more cold resistance, which I unironically needed to be overcapped on cold res. So yeah, that's really all that there is to this build. If you're interested, check it out. Have some fun with some Absolution. Absolution Scion is a really good time, and I personally think that this is probably the best way to build it if you're going the Doriani route. I think if you're going the Doriani route, then Scion is probably the best way to build it. And you just go, you'd go Pathfinder, Necromancer instead of what I did with Guardian, and then you'd just buy Guardian on Forbidden Flesh and Flame. And I think you'd be in a good spot. But anyway, that's all. That is it. That's my showcase. I'll probably be back with the Nimbus Deadeye character and all that goodness in a future update. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Sub, follow me on twitch.tv/bruised if you're interested. Either way, hope you have a great time. Enjoy the league. It's 3.2. It's fun, damn it. Sorry, 3.20. Important distinction.